And they wonder why there's no real rock and roll stars around. Because it's the shit you got us doing.
I need to be myself. I can't be no one else.
Over the past 30 years, there isn't a band that had such an immediate and long-lasting impact on the music scene, quite like Oasis did. Dominating the 90s, starting the Britpop movement, rivaling against Blur.
I'd like to thank all the people. All the people.
And standing the test of time. They released their debut album, Definitely Maybe, in 1994 and started breaking records straight out the gate.
I've got £87 million in the bank. I've got a Rolls Royce. I've got 3 stalkers. I'm about to go on the board at Manchester City. I'm part of the greatest band in the world. Am I happy with that? No, I'm not! I want more!
With massive songs like Cigarettes and Alcohol, Rock and Roll Star, Supersonic, and Live Forever.
Maybe I don't really wanna know.
It would only be 1 year later when Oasis would go back into the studio to record What's the Story, Morning Glory, arguably still to this day their magnum opus.
Interesting.
With massive cult classic songs like Roll With It,
You gotta roll with it, you gotta take it time.
Morning Glory,
All your dreams are made when you
Champagne Supernova, and Wonderwall.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you.
Oasis had cemented their legacy to be one of the most timeless bands to come out of the 90s and developed a huge and loyal fan base.
It's the most underrated band of the 90s.
Oasis.
How about the most overrated band?
Blur.
Today we're going to look at their best song, and no, it's not Wonderwall. It's Don't Look Back in Anger.
That was a good moment when we recorded that. I remember thinking, f***ing hell, this is going to be brilliant.
So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late.
What makes this song so great, memorable, and stand out from their other massive songs nearly 30 years later, with lyrics about a certain mysterious Sally.
Hey, you know the song, Don't Look Back in Anger? And I went, yeah. And she went, is Sally Cinnamon? And I went, oh, that's fucking brilliant. I wish I'd have fucking come up with that.
And a simple chord that has perplexed people for years. Let's dive right into it. The song opens with that classic piano part before the iconic drum fill from Alan White enters the picture and Noel's iconic vocals take front and centre stage.
Slip inside the eye of your mind.
From a production standpoint, you've got all the classic elements you'd expect from Oasis.
Why does Liam Gallagher wear a parka? Because it makes me look cool. What is Liam Gallagher wearing? And wearing a parka.
How many parkas do you have?
Millions, man, millions.
Acoustic guitars, drums, bass, and even some organ throughout, and of course Noel's famous vocals.
But all the things that you've seen slowly fade away.
If we take a look at the drum parts, Alan White had just joined the band after Tony McCarroll had left, giving Oasis a much more competent and reliable drummer, using his Ludwig super classic drum kit for the recording sessions and laying down some fantastic drum fills and parts throughout. Bass-wise, Grigsby was at the helm, using his classic Fender Telecaster bass to lay down the parts heard on this album, simply following the chord structure for the most part. Now, other than the pipe organ that can be heard throughout most of the song, let's look at the start of the show, Noel's guitar parts.
You cannot be serious.
There's double-tracked acoustic parts throughout the whole song, which were most likely recorded with the same Takamine acoustic that he used to record Wonderwall.
Is that mine?
Do you remember giving me that guitar?
So that's the one I played Wonderwall on. Fucking
Yeah.
hell, you jammy bastard. That's going to be worth tens of pounds one day.
Yeah.
I must have been high. I was high, wasn't
I think so.
Electric guitar-wise, this is where things get interesting. Noel has said he actually did all the Don't Look Back in Anger parts on a Fender Strat.
Right, and then it's a weird moment, right? If you played these all your life and you get a little Strat and it's like, wow, what's that nonsense?
Which is probably one of Johnny Marr's.
I'd known Johnny Marr for a few years at this point, maybe 2 or 3 years. Surely he's not fucking mad enough to send down the Smiths guitar to a load of scallies from a council estate in South Manchester. Turns out he is that mad.
And was using a Vox amp that was actually a house amp for the famous Cavern Club in Liverpool.
Vox AC30. And they'd got it from the Cavern. It was a Cavern house amp. This is the Don't Look Back in Anger box.
Vintage example that gives Noel the iconic sounds we hear on the song throughout. Vocals wise, producer Owen Morris said they used a Neumann FET U47, some tape delay and reverb all over What's the Story Morning Glory, to great effect, producing a vocal track that soars above the instrumentation.
Slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play? You said that you'd never been, but all the things that you've seen.
Don't Look Back in Anger is still to this day one of Oasis's biggest songs, only second to Wonderwall, but in my opinion is their best track, that stood the test of time and would still be as impactful if it was released today. There's no surprise that Oasis is still one of the biggest bands to come out of the UK. What song would you like me to look at next? Let me know down in the comments and I'll see you next time.
By the way, Scotland's a beautiful country. The people are magnificent. Get yourself up there.
Please don't put your life in the